going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm bringing you a very special kind of video. Today I'm going to show you the bag of Dragon Ball figures that my homie Logic gave me at a show the other day.
What's up, everybody? It's Rhymestyle. I love you guys. Make some noise.
If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I mentioned how, I went to the Logic show, and the first thing he did is he took me to his tour bus. To those who don't know, me and Logic have been friends for a year, so it's like you're wondering, how'd you even do that? I've known this man literally since day one. Anyways, so he brings me to his tour bus and goes, I got a gift for you. And I look over and I see literally just a pile of Dragon Ball figures. And not just that, but like literally my childhood. And I mentioned in my Instagram stories, and again, if you don't follow me, the links to that will be in the description below, whether or not you guys want to see a video, I'm basically unboxing these and showing you kind of like the history lesson of the original Dragon Ball merchandise from way back in the day. It's like a 99 to 1% chance, yes, do a video on it. So here we are. Quick background story. This is where I came from. This is one of the original Dragon Ball figures of all time, and look how horrendous he looks. Freaking Trunks' face is too small for his hair. Like, who approved this? I have no idea. If this came out today, it'll be absolutely unacceptable. But these are like the original figures. And not just that, but they were so goofy. For example, this Frieza right here came with a machine gun. What's he gonna hold the machine gun with? And why does he have a machine gun? I have no idea. But at least this Trunks came with an accessory that made sense, which obviously was his sword. And the funny thing is look how detailed the sword is. What is this? Who approved this? This is not what's on the back here. So yeah, that's where I came from. But back in the day, these were like the figures to own. If you love Dragon Ball, you had to have these. The reason why I showed you this is to show you like the next set of figures that came out in the early 2000s. I believe this is still Urban Toys. Yeah, Urban Toys, which I don't even know if they still exist anymore, as you can see in the top right there. This was a Super Saiyan Trunks that came out that had multiple points of articulation. He had a Ki Blast function and a sword. When this first came out, I fell in love with this figure. I wanted it so badly, but unfortunately, like I said, I never came from like a wealthy family, so I couldn't just get everything. The way I would get my figures usually is I would save up money from like mowing the lawn or shoveling snow during the winter season, and I would basically spend that money on stuff like games and Dragon Ball figures and Gundam figures. That was my childhood. But when this came out, I wanted this so badly, but unfortunately, I never got my hands on it until much, much later. And when I first saw this, it literally just triggered a memory inside me. This is like one of the first cool Trunks figures that you had to have as a Trunks fan. But look how doofy he looks. Like, his eyes aren't even lined up. His eyes aren't even lined up. But he had points of articulation. He came with a sword. He had a Ki Blast. I needed this. Next, we have a... this one first. We have the same realm of figures, but these are just kind of like the more basic ones. What they try to do with the Dragon Ball toys back in the day is they would have like the basic figures like this one, for example, which is a Cell. It comes with a Cell Junior. It comes with this weird metal collector thing for some reason. I don't know why. But this is like one set of figures. Then they had like the Ki Blast style figures, which you can also see in the back. They had a couple of variations of it. They had Imperfect Cell, they had Frieza, Krillin, Kid Gohan, and then Trunks. And then what they would do is they would do stuff like this, where they had various action. Like, for example, this Trunks kicks if you press a button. Then we have punching Piccolo over here. You have a weird... This is interesting. This right here was like the worst Goku figure in existence. It's supposed to be a Kamehameha action, but all he would literally do is just this. Like, it would barely move. I'm like, somebody approved this. It's not probably selling like hotcakes, and there's people across the world buying these. And they had no quality control of these figures back in the day, like absolutely none. But it's still kind of cool seeing like how much they developed over time. Again, you guys saw that first Trunks, and he's like one of the more later ones. Still doesn't really look like Trunks, but you kind of see more of a Super Saiyan inside this than the previous figures. Back to this though. These are the basic figures, which will always come with weird accessories. Better than the original ones, but again, I never understood these metal things. So in the back here, the funny thing about this is number one, look how goofy this Angel 16 looks. Like, who designed that? That's not Angel 16. That's like, if they made like a parody of Angel 16 on YouTube today, that's what he would look like. That. Then of course they had Trunks over here, that Perfect Cell, that Android 19, they had Buff Goku in the corner, but for some reason, this Cell was the only one that actually had like a premium accessory. He looked like a goof, basically. Like, look at that. Look at his face. That's not even Cell, it's too wide. Cell is supposed to be perfect. This ain't perfect. Dude. Okay, so here's the model kit. This is one of the first Goku model kits that came out. Again, I think I want to say late 90s, early 2000. Now, the funny thing about this model kit is what do you notice about the back? This is kind of promoting all the other figures that exist. You have Trunks, you have Vegeta, you have Super Saiyan Goku, you have Base Goku, and then you have Super Saiyan Trunks, and then Gohan. Now, what do you notice about this? The funny thing about this is the fact that these are not what they're advertising. Like, I mean, the Trunks, yes, but he doesn't have a sword. This is armor Vegeta in a jumpsuit, but no armor. And then here's the one that kills me the most, is Gohan. This is Kid Gohan, but for some reason, That's adult Gohan. Like, I mean, this is what you get inside these. They were like really basic model kits. Like, you really have to do no work to put these together. But I don't understand. Actually, there's also the Gohan in here as well. I don't understand this. Like, who approved this? Imagine buying a teen Gohan figure, or I guess kid Gohan figure from the Cell Saga, but you open it and you get literally adult Gohan. Was it that much work to put a picture of adult Gohan in a box? I don't understand. And the thing is, this is not a factory error either. This is what they gave us. Like, whoever had, you know, the license to put out figures back in the day had no quality control. And it just kills me to see, like, how far we've come. Imagine, like, if they release these figures today with Twitter, how much of an outrage it would be, and like how people would just go in on the companies that put these out. But like back in the day, I guess you didn't really have social media or ways to complain, and kind of like what they gave us is what we had. Like, this is all we had, and we're gonna accept it. But it's kind of funny, like, seeing how they will literally promote, you know, Kid Gohan from the Cell arc as a Super Saiyan, but then you get the wrong Gohan. I don't understand. And again, just like I mentioned with the Goku figure, these are like really brain dead model kits. They really weren't even model kits. You just put the pieces together and then you're basically good to go. Whereas nowadays, when you get the figure out standards, for example, it takes time to really build those. But like, again, this is where I came from. There's a VHS of Curse of the Blood Ruby's original Dragon Ball movie. Yeah, back in the day, instead of having DVDs, we had VHSs. I mean, this is kind of like, you know, past my era. I grew up with DVDs too, but like, I'm probably never going to open this because, number one, I don't have a VHS player. And just owning a sealed Dragon Ball VHS, I think is kind of cool. We have Trunks. Now, you're probably wondering, Rhymestyle, why is that Trunks in his base form? Where's the Super Saiyan accessory? There isn't any. You know why? Because they figured out that they can do stuff like releasing base Trunks and also release a Super Saiyan Trunks, and people would buy both. Like, these, I mean, first of all, look at his face. Again, who approved look at the hair color? Who approved this? I feel like they got the Dragon Ball license, and the people that put the figures together and developed them had no idea what Dragon Ball was. They just kind of like did their job and just, you know, put out what they got. But like, look at these. Look at the quality of these figures. They're awful. Like the eyes. First of all, this Goku's eyes, one is bigger than the other one. The eyeballs. At least they got the Gohan right this time. The Super Saiyan Gohan. They would sell the base figures as well, just so you can buy like the Super Saiyan ones and, like, you know, transform when you play with them. But yeah. Nowadays, when you get something like this, at least they'll have like an accessory where, you know, as you can see right there, where's he at? Down there, you can barely see it. You know, you'll get the armor Trunks as well as the Super Saiyan head to add on and transform. Next, we have a Krillin. And the funny thing about this Krillin is when they started doing this set of figures, this is the first time where they added more articulation. And I remember in the initial series, like first of all, who releases a Chi-Chi figure and a King Kai figure and a Dede figure? Apparently, Urban Toys does. Is it Urban Toys? Yeah, Urban Toys does. And the only reason why you bought these is because at the time, these are like the only figures in the Dragon Ball world that had like articulation. Because again, remember originally the Trunks I showed you in the beginning of the video, all they could do is just this. And that's it. When they start releasing these, they released all like the bad figures first. They had like Raditz, they had Krillin, they had Nappa. But the reason why you wanted it is for the first time in like ever in the Dragon Ball merchandise world, they had figures that can actually move their arms like this. And again, as a kid, the more articulation that a figure has, the better. And that's all you cared about. Unfortunately, I never owned this Trunks, but I remember as a kid, I used to want it so badly because this is the second time I want to say where they released a Trunks that had like multiple points of articulation like this Krillin did. But notice how like they emphasized that this figure can move and it, see, fully articulate up in the top right corner, or I guess in the top left corner on here, that, you know, if you buy these figures, you can actually play with them. We have an Android 20 or Dr. Gero that's actually already open. I can show you guys what you get when you buy these figures. I don't understand this. Whoever put these together, I want to know why these were like your go-to things. Like, who collected these? Why this? They could have been a trading card. It could have been a sticker. But instead, it gives us little metal things that I don't think even anybody in my childhood even played with these or collected them. Look how bad his Dr. Gero is. The first thing that happens is his brain falls apart. For some reason, this one was one of the lucky ones to get a accessory, but it was like the top piece of his hat. But the thing is it doesn't connect to anything, so it just kind of sits there and looks awkward. At first, I thought maybe you got to remove the little glass panel, I guess, and maybe that'll connect. But no, it doesn't. It's just there, and see, it just falls. Why is that an accessory? That's what I want to know. You could have had anything else. You could have even given him the remote control to control the androids. Instead, you get the top of his hat, I guess. I don't know. And again, look how goofy this man looks. Let me put his, like, look at this. Can someone give me that? Okay, here's the game we're going to play if you made it this far in the video. Comment section below, what I want you to do is comment your best caption for what this pose does. Like, what is he doing right now? Dude, notice how his eyes aren't even lined up. Like, they're just two dots, but they're not even, like, you know, lined up. It's like, I don't know how these were approved. I got this at Comic-Con. I'm going to do a quick story of this one. This is at Comic-Con. This is cool because it's Vegeta blue. But the thing about this is I already complained about this before. They reused the original molds, like the bad molds that figure arts used to use back in the day, to release this. They could have easily made a brand new mold, made like a really cool Vegeta blue figure, but for whatever reason, they reused the old one. I thought it was a valid complaint, but then it's like, I remember back in the day how we didn't even have rights to complain, and we got this, and it was okay. So it's like, it's funny to see how far the Dragon Ball merchandise world has come, and I'm so happy that they have actual quality control now with these figures and merchandise, as opposed to back in the day where like anybody can get the license for these things and just go rampant with them. Finally, we have this. Now, the funny thing about this is nobody I knew as a kid own these big statues. They're not really even statues. They're hollow figures, I want to say. They have like basically nothing on the inside. They're not like, you know, pure plastic. The Goku, I think, can move his arm like this, and that's about it. But these mostly start to be like, I guess, the back in the day statues, essentially. If you like Goku or Vegeta or whatever they had at the time, you get the statue, and that's about it. No one bought these because these were expensive since they were so huge. I think they cost like 20 to 30 bucks per figure. And the actual, oh, here you go. On the side, you can see all the original figures that came out back in the late 90s, early 2000s. These are about $7.99 to $9.99 each. I think the Broly was like 14 bucks. But for the most part, that was a price range for these. These are terrible figures, but for that much, it's fine. Imagine spending $20 or 30 bucks for this. Like, look at, that's not even Gohan. Who is this? Who is this? Someone tell me who that is. That's not Gohan. That ain't Gohan. I mean, you can kind of assume that's Goku, but again, it looks like a bootleg parody from like a YouTube video from these days. Like, I don't know what this is. And like, look at the back here. Look at this man's hair over here. Like, who approved this? I promise, Mom, it's not a phase. This is who I am now. That's like, who approved this? Somebody's job was to design this figure and put it out, and they got paid for it. Think about that. If you think about, man, I can't accomplish something, just remember that somebody released this and made money off of it. Nobody owned these just because they were expensive. They didn't really do much, and they were also really, really goofy, but I do remember seeing this as a kid. Every single time I went to the store. Every now and then you might see someone that owned them, but for the most part, you never seen anybody have these. Here's the original Ki Blast action figures. These were like literally from nightmares. Like, they have the Frieza, the Vegeta, the Captain Ginyu. Then of course you have the Spirit Bomb Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, and Piccolo. And again, these are all horrendous. They didn't even like fire out. I remember you press a button and the Ki Blast would just kind of pop out, and that's it. So yeah, this is where my childhood came from. But again, as a kid, when you love Dragon Ball, and this is all you have, it was perfect. Anyway, so Logic, thank you so much for this. Again, you literally handed me a piece of my childhood with this bag of figures. I guess I'll end this video on two things. Number one, if you enjoyed today's history lesson of not just my life, but the Dragon Ball merchandise world from back in the day, feel free to slap a like on the video. Let's go for 4,000 likes potentially, maybe. And two, if you own anything from the Dragon Ball world as far as merchandise, whether it be a game, a card, a figure, what is your favorite thing of all time? Let me know in the comment section below. The reason why I asked this is because, again, I just shared you what my favorite figures were back in the day, and I would love to know what that is for you, because, again, it's a good way for us to connect. But other than that, I guess I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more stuff like this outside of just, like, you know, playing the games, slap a like on it. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Rhymestyle or Instagram, or in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed today. My name is Rhymestyle. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.